All right, we're given this line and we're trying to find the slope and the y-intercept. So there's a couple ways you can do it. I think for most of you, the easiest one is just going to be to put it in slope-intercept form. So we have 2y, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides, plus 4, divide everything by 2. So we have y is negative 3 halves x plus 2. So the slope we know is the coefficient of x, and we know the y-intercept is 0, and then our b value, which is 2. So then for number 12, we need to write in point slope the line that passes through this point and has a slope. So point slope form, if you don't remember, is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we get y minus the y value, which is 12, equals 3/7, and then x minus negative 5, which is x plus 5. For 13, we're going to write in standard form the equation of a line that passes through these 2 points. Okay, so standard form is ax plus by equals c. So given 2 points, we first need to find the slope. So let's kind of pull this over here. Okay, so we're first going to find the slope. We have bottoms up, so I have 4, negative 3, 13, negative 7. So negative 3 plus 7 is positive 4, and 4 minus 13. Oh, what is 4 minus 13? Negative 9. So negative 4/9. And then if we put this into point slope form, we're going to get, I'm going to pick the point for negative 3, and my slope is negative 4/9. So I get y plus 3 equals negative 4/9, and then x minus 4. But this needs to be in standard form. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to multiply everything by 9 because you want to have integers for a and b here. So then we get 9y plus 27 equals, that's going to cancel that out, and so then I can distribute. So I get negative 4x plus 16, and then what we want to do is put everything, put the 3 terms on the one side, so, or the 2 terms. So let's put x and y on the same side. So we get positive 4x plus 9y equals, if we subtract 27 from 16, that's negative 11. Okay, so that's 13. Now before I get too far ahead of myself here, for number 11, we were supposed to sketch this line too, and I did not. So I feel pretty confident most of you can do that without help. But you would plot 0, 2, and then you would go down 3, right 2. So this would be a sketch. Okay, so just to head back that way. All right, number 14. So for 14, we want to find the slope of a line parallel to this, and a parallel slope is just the same slope. So for number 14, the parallel slope is just going to be 5/3. Okay. Number 15, we want to find the slope of the line parallel to this. So what we need to do is easiest way again I think would just be to solve for y. And so let's do that. So we have negative 4/5 y equals negative 2/3 x, and then plus 11/15. To get rid of this negative 4/5 to isolate y, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 5/4. So then we get negative 5/4 times negative 2/3 x plus, now we could go ahead and multiply this also, so I don't want to take that away from you. However, we're only looking for the slope of the line parallel, so I just need to calculate this. This is my slope. Okay, so the negatives will cancel. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 3 is 12, so the slope is just going to be 5/6. All right, so this is going to be the parallel slope for number 15. For 16, we are going to be writing a new equation, and it looks like we want it to be parallel to the line, but we also want it to pass through this particular point. Okay, so if that's the case, we need to identify the parallel slope to this line, and that's simple enough. The parallel slope to this is 5, so that's all we need from this line. Then we're going to take this point, and I like point slope form, so y minus 2 equals 5 times the quantity x minus 4. So point slope, so this may be enough. If it does ask you to put it in slope-intercept form, all you would have to do is simplify. So we have 5x minus 20, so y equals 5x minus 18. So this is point slope form, and this is slope-intercept form. So just kind of pay attention to the directions to see which one you would need. For 17, it looks like we're going to do the same exact thing with just different information. So for 17, we need to figure out what the parallel slope is first. So we're going to solve for y. We get 11y is negative 4x plus 23. Divide everything by 11. So the parallel slope to this line is just going to be negative 4/11. So using point slope form now, I have y minus 1 equals negative 4/11 times x minus a negative 7 is really plus 7. So that would be point slope form. If you have to go further, then we would get y minus 1 equals negative 4/11 x minus negative 28/11, right? You multiply the top, 7 times 4, 28. So this is, I'm adding 1 to both sides, but 1 is the same thing as 11/11. So this becomes y equals negative 4/11 x, and negative 28 plus 11 is going to be negative 17/11. All right, so this would be slope-intercept form. All right, 18. We want a slope perpendicular to this. So you need to be careful. A lot of people want to do, a lot of people can't remember which it is, but if a slope is perpendicular, it means it's the opposite reciprocal. So the slope for 18, the slope is 2. So the perpendicular slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal of that, okay? So for this one, perpendicular is negative 1/2. For number 19, same thing. So for 19, we have this line. We need to identify its slope first. So negative 4y equals negative 7x plus 15. Divide everything by negative 4. So the slope of the given line is really 7/4, which makes the perpendicular slope negative 4/7. All right, so opposite reciprocal. So the perpendicular slope is negative 4/7. Okay, so we want to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to this line and goes through this point. So this is the line we're using only for its slope. So we're saying, hey, what is perpendicular to this line? It's going to be negative 5/7. All right, now I need a line with this slope, but it also has to go through this point. That's where we use point slope formula. So we get y minus 5/3 equals negative 5/7 times x minus 1/2. So again, I would be okay with this. But if you were going to go ahead and solve, let's go y minus 5/3 equals negative 5/7 x plus 5 times 1 is positive 5, and then 7 times 2 is over 14. So then we have to add 5/3 to both sides, and then I'm going to multiply this by 3/3, this by 14/14. So this becomes 15 over 42. This becomes 5 times 14, 70 over 42. And then when we add these two guys together, because I'm adding 5/3 to both sides, we add those together, we get y equals negative 5/7 x plus 85 over 42. All right, for 21, same idea. All right, now for 21, if we want the perpendicular line here, to get the new slope, we have 4y is negative x plus 12. I'm moving the x over, divide everything by 4. So my current slope is negative 1/4, which makes my perpendicular slope positive 4. Now for this one, slope-intercept form, slope-intercept y equals mx plus b is simple because they give us the intercept. So it's y equals 4x plus 4, okay? So for this one, slope-intercept would be actually my preference, but if you did point-slope form, we would have y minus 4 equals, and then the slope is 4 times x, and then minus 0, or plus 0, it doesn't matter. Technically, you wouldn't even have that anyway. Okay, I think that's a good stopping point.